Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to episode 3. Ooh,
We made it.
we
3
made
episodes
it.
in.
Thank you so much for 100 downloads, by the way. That's
Yeah. We recently hit 100 downloads, or I guess 100 listens across our podcasts.
yeah.
We appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
And thank you for making it
That's,
this far as well.
Yeah. We do appreciate all the listens and stuff like that. And I guess I also want to extend props to you as well, Jenz, and I guess to us. We did it.
I know. Look at
we
us
did
go.
it. We finally did it. Yeah, I know, right? Wow.
We gotta keep going. We gotta keep
Yeah,
doing this.
we're gonna keep going. But I guess we'll start off this week. We do have like a couple of sort of smaller stories, I guess.
Yeah.
As opposed to like the last 2 weeks where we had like a mishmash of sort of more bigger stories. I guess did you want to start off though with how your week's been?
My week. Nothing different. Just the same old.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
it do be like that.
Yeah.
No, I've sort of been the same though. I've got the week off work. Just pretty good. You know, I think we're gonna try and go to Luna Park tomorrow.
Ooh, nice. Hopefully good weather.
Pending it doesn't rain. It is a little bit grey today in Sydney, so
That's not good.
fingers crossed. But it's supposed to be. It's
Wait,
supposed to be okay.
If
So
it is raining, can you go on the rides?
you know what? I'm not sure.
Maybe it's not.
I've never been.
Maybe if it's not storming. But I feel like
Yeah.
water and rides. I don't know. Just doesn't sound like a very good mix.
That'll be all right.
Okay, well,
I think the
good luck.
brakes work better. I think the brakes work better
okay.
in wet conditions, so we should be all right. But no, I guess we'll start this week off then with our topic, our first topic.
Yeah.
Epic Games pledges $20 million to Fortnite esports throughout the year.
Mm. Which
An insane number.
is a lot of money. But
It is.
interestingly
It's a lot of
enough,
money.
It's
Yeah.
less than last year's. Which
Not last year. 2019.
Oh, sorry, 2019.
Not last year's. Yeah, come on. I always do that too. For like the first month and a half,
Yeah,
I always still feel like it's the previous year.
Yep.
So I did that as well. But yeah, 2019, 30 million.
Yeah.
So 10 million less.
I wonder why. Because I don't know if you're familiar of Dota, but the International boasts probably the biggest prize pool in esports. 2019 they had 34 million.
Yeah.
I don't think
Which is, hang on, yeah, to put into perspective, I think that's for one event. I think
that's
that like
for one,
if
yeah.
the team wins that one event, they win $34 million. Probably
Yeah.
taxed. I'm gonna say it's taxed, so they'll win a fair portion less.
Yes.
But the $20 million that Fortnite is pledging across their esports division is for all competitions throughout the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just to sort of put it into perspective, like one competition might only be a $500,000 prize pool. And I say only lightly because like, yeah, I would like $500,000, but like it, you know, compared to $34 million in one hit, it's quite a lot less. But it's crazy that video games are like, they have this amount of money backed behind them.
Yes. I mean,
You know,
TI alone. I don't know. TI, so I'm just talking, I know more about TI than I do Fortnite, but
yeah,
with TI, most of that money comes from what are called compendiums. And I'm pretty sure this is correct knowledge. I hope it's correct, or Dota people will kill me.
Yeah, someone will come after you. Tweet her at Jenslinger.
No.
Blame her if she's wrong.
I've already cried from Dota. I don't want to cry again.
No, don't cry.
So yeah, the compendium is a thing that you can buy on Steam to kind of like do predictions on who you think will win. You get quests. It's kind of like a upgraded battle pass.
Okay.
They're about $5, I want to say. They're not much, but a lot of people buy it when the TI comes around.
For Dota's player base, the amount of people that play it, like $5 is nothing, you know, sort of to anyone, I guess, really. That's, you know, that's a small meal at McDonald's or something like that.
Yeah. And so
you think if a couple million people buy it
so much every year.
Yeah.
Which, so yeah,
I
it's
did not know that.
interesting. Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool to see the community do that together.
I'd be interested to see if Fortnite did that. If they because they obviously do a battle pass every season.
Yeah.
If they put $5, because the battle pass for us in Australia is
it 15?
I think it's 10 or 15 Australian dollars. I forget. I haven't played it in a little while.
Right.
Or it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Because you have to buy like the coins or whatever, so you usually have to buy like a little bit more. So I think it usually works out to be about 10 or 12 Australian dollars, but you end up paying $15 because you have to get enough coins to get it.
That's how they get
That's
you.
another story. Yeah, it'd be cool to see if they did 50% of all the proceeds from that go into their
prize pool.
Their like esports prize pool. I'd be interested to see what the number turns out to be.
I reckon
because
a fair bit.
It'd be a fair bit. I don't know if it'd be more or less than 20 million because I don't know what their player base numbers are these days. I don't think they've ever like explicitly stated how many people play it.
Yeah.
We can sort of gauge roughly based off like Twitch viewership. Because I guess that's what you'd be like the people that are at least interested in it or something like that. Currently, it's sitting at 8th most viewed on Twitch at the time of recording at around 4 o'clock on this Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
It's sitting at 106,000 viewers.
Yeah.
Compared to just chatting, which I had like 250 something thousand viewers, but we consider that an outlier because just chatting isn't like a video game. But the next most watched is Rust at 160,000 viewers.
Yeah, Rust has really gone up there lately.
Yeah, it's the game at the moment that like sort of everyone's been playing and things like that.
It's curious. I wonder, like, Fortnite's not going to go anywhere. I mean, it's still going to be at least in the top 10 of Twitch. I think it just bounces around as other games kind of like pop up. Because, one day Rust is going to be less popular than it is now.
Yeah.
Like, as you can see in the top 10, Among Us isn't there. And it was when it was hot.
5-6 months ago.
Yeah.
That was the shit. Like,
yeah.
I couldn't go on Twitch without seeing
Among Us
like
everywhere.
the top 10 people on my followers list playing Among Us.
Yeah.
Like, it was impossible. So yeah, I think that's sort of, I wonder if obviously Rust has seen a large influx of players because of this. Like, I do own Rust. It is in my Steam account. I've had it since it was in, I think, beta or something like that when it was a fair bit cheaper. I don't necessarily enjoy the game per se, but having seen it become so popular recently, it does sort of influence me to want to play Rust. I don't know why. It might just be because I'm very impressionable or something like that, but I have had the urge. I haven't played it, but I have had the urge to play it. Which I guess just goes to show how, I think, powerful, like, I guess viewers and Twitch viewers, like, are in sort of, making or breaking a game and stuff like that. Because I guess, going back to Among Us, like, that game only had, like, a couple of hundred or a couple of thousand players ever in its, like, first 2 years. And then a couple of Twitch people started playing it, like, popular Twitch personalities started playing it, and it shot up.
Yeah. Which is
so I guess it just
amazing to see. Like,
it is
the power that the internet can do, I suppose.
And now you look at Among Us, and they're bringing out a new map soon. They're on Nintendo Switch now. They got like multiplayer game of the year at the Video Game Awards and stuff like that. Like crazy uptick for them.
Yeah. Twitch is insane. I mean, speaking of which, the Grefk, I want to say that's correct.
Grefk.
Who is a Fortnite streamer, broke Twitch's what was it?
Hang on.
What?
Smashed it.
Okay.
He obliterated
the record
it.
of concurrent viewers, which was previously 660,000.
Hang on. Only 600. We say
just
only
660,000.
That's like just only 660,000.
But he had 2.3 million viewers.
Yeah, Graph got 2 million, over 2 million. That is insane.
I I do want to add that the previous record was was held by another Fortnite streamer, and the third one on the list as well, I think, is Ninja for a Fortnite stream.
I think I'm gonna confidently say that the top 5 most viewed concurrent records on Twitch are gonna be held by Fortnite streamers.
Yeah.
I don't have the statistics open on my screen here, but I'm gonna say with confidence that I'm fairly certain that it is the top 5 are Fortnite streamers.
I feel like maybe one of them might be like Escape from Tarkov.
Yeah, I don't know. Tarkov has gone through its it's sort of
ups and downs.
I mean it is sitting. I'm looking now. Number 9th is on the Twitch most viewed list is Tarkov. It might be up there, but I'm honestly not sure because it is still quite a very like niche game.
But I mean, when the drops came out, it just Pastilli went crazy. He killed it. Yeah.
When the most recent drops event was happening over New Year's, my PC was on for 7 days straight.
Oh my god!
Just because I was farming the drops. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was torturous. My room was because it's summer here in Australia, and so I have a PC in a small room, and that just like
no ventilation.
Yeah, oh my god, so much heat. For about a week there, I was just melting.
Wow.
But worth it because I got some pretty cool drops. So you know, I don't know. 2 million viewers at one point. That is insane. I don't even think I've met that many people in my life.
Oh, they can't be. I don't think
I've
possible.
seen that many people in one area in my life. Like,
I don't know. Anyways.
That is insane.
Anyways. We should move on.
Moving on.
Hitman 3 comes out, which I know, today, of the recording, Hitman 3 is out.
Yes.
And you're the Hitman guy between us, kinda?
Yeah, this one's got like a little bit of an asterisk next to the release for me, because I haven't picked it up just yet. There was like a little bit of I want to say a hoopla, if that's the word I'd use. But there was a little bit of a hoopla around its release on PC, because that's where I was going to sort of pick it up because I own the other 2 on PC already. In the early days of Hitman 3 being announced and stuff like that, they said that if you already owned Hitman 2, you would get all of the Hitman maps and stuff, Hitman 2 maps, in Hitman 3 to play through. So you can sort of play through all of the games in sequence if you wanted.
Wait, do you get all this? Is it 6 maps in 2?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
So there's 6 maps in 2, and then also when they brought out 2, they also included the 6 maps from the first Hitman game as well.
Interesting.
So you'd technically be getting 12 maps in Hitman 3.
Yeah.
Additional on top of the 6 new ones that they were bringing out with the game. But for when it was being announced as well, they also stated that it was going to be an exclusivity period on Epic Games Store. Now, I have really nothing against Epic Games Store and stuff like that. I've always picked up their free monthly games and things like that. I've bought a couple of games through their store and things like that. You know, it's no real trouble for me having games in 2 separate locations.
Yeah.
I'm not really that pressed about it. But when it was announced it was going to be Epic Games exclusive, Hitman 2 has never been released on the Epic Games Store in the past. So for players that were looking to pick up Hitman 3 and also get the Hitman 2 maps, they were going to either have to re-buy Hitman 2 if they'd already previously owned it on Steam or, GOG or something like that.
Just not ideal, really.
Which, a lot of people were pissed about. And I think understandably, like that's the reason that I didn't pick it up, because I own the Hitman games on Steam. So like I would lose out on all that extra sort of content, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just gonna wait until it comes out on Steam. They did state a couple of days ago, I saw, maybe I want to say a week before release, or maybe just a couple of days before release, that they were working with, IO Interactive was working with Epic Games to sort of come up with a solution. But who knows how long that's going to take. So I think I'm just going to wait out the 3 or 5 or 6 months or whatever it might be. It's really not that long. There's a bunch of other games that I got to play through anyways, so it's
that's fair enough.
But other than that, I am really excited for it. It does look like it's going to be a very enjoyable experience.
Yeah, I had a quick look through the a review of it, and
Mm.
I just saw a couple of the maps, like the different locations, and
Mhm.
it does look very beautiful.
They are very good looking games these days. Yeah,
Yeah.
they there's a lot of detail because they're not small, but like each level is like a little sandbox and stuff like that, I guess.
Mm.
But they do pack a lot of detail into those sort of levels and things like that. There's a lot of little like sneaky sort of secret parts and stuff like that. So
Oh
it really
yeah.
does, reward you if you explore.
Mm.
And they always look so alive because they have such a good like AI system with the crowds and stuff like that. I don't think any game does crowds as good as Hitman does. They
Yeah.
are
Right.
really sort of dynamic and I guess just they're very believable, I
Mm.
guess.
Which is what you want,
Um
really.
yeah, I think so. It really puts you in the sort of zone, I guess.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I guess that's sort of all I really have for Hitman 3. It's not nothing too crazy.
Yeah. There's
I guess we
nothing
can
really
move
new
on.
to that. Hey. But yeah, we can move
No,
on
not
totally.
yeah. The next topic, 2020 the game. What a year 2020 was. Wasn't that fun?
Yeah. This
Um
is a very short game.
yeah,
But
it's just a cute little like browser-based game. It sort of takes you through, I guess, all the phases I'd call them of
yeah.
2020. It's yeah, it's sort of it starts off with the Australian bushfires, which were quite harsh for all the Australians and stuff like that. Then it
Yeah.
goes into COVID and sort of all the other things that happened in the crazy year that 2020 was. I don't want to spoil it too much because we're gonna put the link to the game in the description and stuff like that, and we'll put it on the screen and all that sort of stuff.
Mm.
But you just go to 2020game.io. It's like a 5 minute little browser game. You can sort of play it at your lunch break at work or something like that. It is, nothing too crazy. But it was,
No. But
yeah,
yeah, it's developed by like one person over 6 months.
mm,
It's trying to do a light-hearted take of what happened across 2020,
yeah,
which a lot of which I actually kind of forgot about.
yeah. I
So
feel like
it
that's
was
the
very
best way to look
interesting.
at it as well. I don't really like dwelling on things in the
Mm,
past and stuff
neither.
like that. So I think, looking back on things with a light-hearted sort of lens is the best way to do it, especially because of how just fucking insane 2020 was. Like, you play the game, and like Jen said, you just forget some of the stuff that happened.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly forgot that the Australian bushfires happened at the start of 2020. So I honestly forgot that. Like, it was, yeah, that's just how crazy of a year 2020 was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do recommend checking it out. I played it right before recording this actually, and it did. It honestly took me 5 minutes, so it
Yeah, me
is,
too.
nothing too intense and stuff like that. But I
Yeah.
guess you can start this next topic because you know a little bit more about this than I do, I think. Um, Project Mara.
Yes, which I am like I love Ninja Theory. I became such a big fan of them after
Mm,
playing Hellblade. And like I think I tried Hellblade and then I was like, I don't know if this is the game for me because it's quite intense.
yeah.
It's really not a
Oh
game
yeah.
for everyone. Purely on
No.
the fact that you hear a lot of voices in your head because the main character suffers with psychosis. Um,
Yeah.
and they've really nailed that whole experience. And I went back to it and I fully appreciated and fell in love with the game.
Mm.
But anyways, enough about Hellblade. Let's talk about Project Mara, which is Ninja Theory's. I don't know if it's a game, but
I'm not sure. You put a link, or I just sort of Googled it. We have a little like read up here of what we're going to talk about.
hmm,
And I didn't know what Jenz had put in it, but I opened it this morning and saw Project Mara. And so I was like, why does this sound familiar? I Googled it, and there's a little 40-second teaser trailer or something like that.
yeah,
It's very creepy. Um, I'm sitting here in a dark room currently. I honestly did get a little bit sort of on edge. So I do recommend checking it. We're gonna put it up behind us, but like we
yeah.
don't have audio and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna pick it up because it reminds me a lot of was it Visage? I want to say
The
I think
Visage was the one with the
Visage,
camera and
yeah,
the
yeah.
room.
But the only thing that reminds me really about Visage is the fact that A, it's going to be sort of a horror sort of, game and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And B, Visage looks really good. I think they use like photogrammetry and stuff like that in to get a lot of
really?
their assets into the game. I think I'm not 100% certain,
Right.
but I want to say so just because they do look so clean and so like just realistic and stuff like that. And that's what Project Mara is sort of doing as well. Is it's set in one apartment, but the apartment. We'll put some screenshots up behind us again for those that are watching on the YouTube. But the apartment looks insanely detailed and real. Like, and again, I'm sort of taking this with a giant grain of salt because they do put a big sort of banner at the bottom and say it's in engine. It's not like a game just yet, but looks crazy good.
Yeah, I have like a lot of faith for Ninja Theory, but I'm very, very curious about it as well. I don't really know what it is. I don't know what the story is gonna be.
I mean, the read up, it just says like use a real world and grounded representation of mental horror to recreate the horrors of the mind as accurately and realistically as possible.
Yeah.
Like, so it's gonna be, I think, again, very similar to their previous game, Senua's Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Where it sort of puts you in the shoes of someone that has, like just crazy thoughts or like, a mental illness or something like that. Which is, it's quite confronting.
It is.
Like you said, like you couldn't play Hellblade at first because it was quite, it's very in your face and stuff like that. But and I feel like that's what Project Mara is going to be again. I feel like it's going to be a very in your face experience.
Yeah, totally. And the fact that it's coming across extremely realistic, that's what it's kind of boasting right now. And I feel like this will take it to like, because Hellblade was, you could see the character you're playing, you could tell that it's not you. It's like
it was set in like a Norse. It was set in a Norse period.
Yeah,
and stuff like
not
that.
like your home, basically.
No. And so I think that's what they're taking to the next level is like they're making it look like someone's home and stuff like that. I imagine I think I read on an article where it's gonna get you to like it's gonna try and play on some of your fears as a player. So I'm assuming that there's gonna be some sort of like survey at the start that's like, would you like this? Do you do these?
Like that game,
that sort of thing. Yeah, there's I don't know. But I feel like it's really going to start playing with you and stuff like that.
Which I kind of love. Like, I commend them for doing something that is
totally
tricky. And
totally
to
different.
deal with, like, a mental illness is, like...
And the fact that they directly, like, interact with, for Hellblade, I know that they worked hand in hand with neuroscientists, like mental health specialists, and even people that were suffering from psychosis and stuff like that. Yeah. They worked directly with them to be able to most accurately represent that sort of, I guess, experience, for the player and stuff like that. And I feel like that's what they're also going to do again with Project Mara, is they're going to, again, plug in with those neuroscientists and mental health specialists and stuff like that, and really try and make it as accurate as possible, to sort of both respect, I guess, the people that do suffer from those conditions and the people that
educate those who don't
exactly,
understand it as well, which like I said, I commend. I think it's so important to talk about mental illness, and I think
especially in such a
correctly as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like and to do it in this sort of like, it's one thing to sort of do a documentary and stuff like that, and that's one thing, but not everyone plays, or not everyone watches documentaries, sorry. But a lot of people play video games. And so I think it's sort of another way to sort of get it into people's hands and minds and stuff like that. And again, like you said, educate them on sort of all of this sort of stuff.
But it's pretty, I don't know when it does come out, but that's pretty much all the information we have on this. So
there's not much.
Our eyes on it and see how it goes.
Yeah,
But I guess I'll lead you to the end part, which we won't do a spoiler version of it first. But we will talk about the WandaVision episode. So if you haven't watched it at all, and you just don't want to know anything about it, then fair enough. We'll see you next week.
Stop now. See us.
But for those who have seen it and maybe want to just hear our thoughts on it, this is the non-spoiler free talk about it. So
we'll just give you a little bit of I enjoyed it personally. I thought it was very cool, very different.
I loved it. I didn't enjoy it. I freaking loved it. I love Marvel.
Oh,
I'm not a comic reader. I'm not that deep into the world of Marvel. I know you read some comics.
I do. I 100% recommend it.
I know.
There's a service called Marvel Unlimited, which it sounds expensive. It sounds expensive, but it's $15 a month.
Okay.
But you get access to like hundreds of thousands of like 10,000 comics and stuff like that. Right. Not all of them. Like I think the grace period is 3 or 6 months before new comics are added. So like the comics that come out like today will be added to Marvel Unlimited in like 3 or 6 months. I think it is or something like that. But like you can go back and read like all of the classic Marvel storylines that they've done in the past. Like I wholeheartedly recommend it if you do want to get into it, because comic collecting is quite expensive in Australia.
I mean, $15 a month is not much. That's like one comic?
Considering, well, it depends. Like for a typical sort of comic, I think I was paying between $7.50 and $9 Australian when I was buying them individually. If you buy volumes, that depends on how many collections they get in the volume. So it can range from like $25 to $45.
Yeah.
It's all, sort of 50-50. But if you're just getting started, I recommend Marvel Unlimited. Very good service and stuff like that. And DC also have a service very similar to it if you're more into the DC side of things. But this part is all about Marvel, so we're not going to talk about DC.
But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I mean, I can't wait. I feel like this is the perfect sort of starting point for, I think we're up to phase 4, I want to say now. Phase 4 or phase 5, I can't remember. Of the MCU and stuff like that. And the perfect starting point for the Disney Plus TV shows. Because it just the way, like, they start off with 2 episodes, and the way that they dragged me in with, like, they answered, a couple of questions, but they made 50 other questions. Like, I'm not gonna,
we won't go there yet.
We haven't got to the spoiler part yet, but my gosh.
But as a general overview of the whole 2 episodes, it was so well, like, that I love Vision and I love Wanda.
Scarlet Witch.
I love Wanda. I love her as an actor. I love that it was black and white, and like their accents, the way they talk, the fashion.
Like I grew up a little bit watching. Mum would put them on TV and stuff like that. But Bewitched, there's a TV, like an older TV show called Bewitched and stuff like that.
It reminds him of the Bewitched
episode. I think it was episode 2. Episode 2, the intro sequence or whatever.
Yeah, the intro
where they do like the title card and stuff like that was basically very, very similar to the Bewitched title card and stuff like that, like with the animated style and whatnot. And so I said that I was watching it with Emma, and I was like, "This reminds me of Bewitched," and she's never seen it and stuff like that. But yeah, and I think there was also, I read, they did a throwback to like another older TV show in the first episode as well, but I'm sort of forgetting what it was. Yeah. Man, just the style, it has so much charm and like.
And I like that. How she's like levitating all these things to cook and stuff. It kind of looks a little like on string, like deliberately.
It looks like they would have shot it in, the Warner Brothers or whatever movie studio back in the 1950s.
Yeah, like with a live audience in the set and everything. So I love those like little quirks, and like they really play into the whole like time zone that they're in.
Yep. Also, like, just the whole, not just the theme of the show, but like, I guess like the world that they're in.
Yeah.
Like Vision, not really a spoiler, but like Vision, when he goes to work and stuff like that, it is a very typical work environment for what I was born in the 90s, the late 90s, obviously. I have no idea, but what I assume would have been a very 1950s or 1960s work environment where, like, you bring the boss home for dinner, you try and like schmooze the boss and all this sort of stuff. That sort of, just that alone was really cool for me, I feel.
I don't know what else to add without getting into the spoiler mode because...
Well, that's what I said before we started recording. I was like, I don't know how long we can go without doing a spoiler sort of review of it because there is only 2 episodes and they only go for about 25 minutes a piece. So there's really not that much content that we can delve into without it being a direct spoiler.
Yeah.
So I guess, did you want to go into the spoiler part now?
So we'll have some really big visuals now.
This is a spoiler. You will have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Okay, if you're here, good. So let's really talk about this episode.
My God.
Holy shit. Can I just say, I love how dark that, like, the moments that are dark, I love how dark they are.
It changes so quick.
The juxtaposition from like the light.
1 second it's like happy, cheery, like, like all the TV shows back then were very happy and cheery and stuff like that. They wanted to show like the ideal family, the ideal lifestyle, all that sort of stuff. But like it in a dead second, like you said, it can just change and flip, and like it's so dark and eerie and just
I love it. I can't wait for more. But I guess, should we talk about the first episode in particular of like the spoilery stuffs in the first episode?
Well,
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think in the first episode they had the Stark toaster.
That was the ads in this was so good.
So they have like this thing, like, it's meant to be like mimicking a real TV show, I guess. So they have ads inside the world for in-world things. So like in episode 1, they had an ad for a toaster that was made by Stark Industries. And as you push down on like the handle of the toaster, obviously to put the toast in and start toasting it, it makes a charge up sound that is exactly the same as the Iron Man repulsor blaster. Yeah. Did you not notice it?
I don't think I did.
Oh my dude, I was sitting there, I was watching it, and I was like, is that Iron Man? And it was like, yeah, go back and watch it.
I should. No,
but when he pushes down on the toaster,
like, just more gobsmacked about how this is so cool. This is Iron Man.
Yeah, I know, right? And then I think in episode 2 they had another ad for the watches. And one of the watches, it has the Hydra symbol on it and stuff like that. And I forget what the name was. There was a name that was for the watch.
Oh, I don't know what it was called.
But he was a Hydra general in the MCU. I'm just forgetting. It's gonna annoy me now.
Someone will get it and tell us.
Yeah. And then the B-Man. Who was the B-Man? Who was the B-Man?
That was episode 2. But oh my God, that. Okay, firstly, before that...
I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead of myself.
No. Okay, but before what I'm thinking, they were at that pool party. Well, okay, no. Let's go to episode 1. The guy...
We're too excited.
Sorry. The guy, the boss starts choking on his food.
See? Okay, now... I think
that's the first part. It gets dark, I'm pretty sure.
I think, yeah, that was the real sort of like turning point of episode 1, and it was right at the end.
It was right at the end.
I think that was Wanda altering reality again, because if you notice, I forget his husband, his wife's name, but the boss's wife or whatever. You know how she was repeatedly saying, "Help him, help him, help him," and then she turns to Wanda. And just in a stoic sort of like dead face, just says, "Help him, help him, help," like again and again and again.
I thought she was like,
I feel
happy.
Yeah, she was happy, but she sort of flips, and when she looks at Wanda, she says it in a real dead tone and says, "Help him, help him, help him." I feel like that was Wanda, like pausing time and stuff like that, or putting time in a loop so that Vision could stick his hand. Vision basically puts his hand through his boss's throat and picks up the food that he was choking on. I feel like Wanda was pausing time and stuff like that just so he could do that without being, caught out and seen as being non-human.
Because
that's sort of what I got at least.
The wife never reacted.
No, as soon as he gets the food out or whatever,
she was like normal.
Sort of Vision, Wanda sort of stops time. Her wife stops saying all of the like the help him lines and stuff like that, and the wife's just very thankful. She's like, "Oh my god, you say."
Oh no, he did. That's like, why she actually says, "Stop it," I think, and then Wanda says to Vision, "Help him." So I think
that's the
wife says, "Stop it."
And she was just repeatedly saying it over and over and over and over. It was
very creepy. See, I thought that moment reminded me, like, maybe because I didn't read the comics and I assume that's something that maybe came from the comics of your theory, but I was like, this is very much like the Truman Show, where they're in a simulation, but they don't know it, so something went wrong.
Well, that's sort of,
I don't know.
That's what happens at the end of episode 1. So like the 25-minute mark or something like that, credits roll.
Oh no,
but they're fake credits. Yeah, they're sort of fake credits, and so these credits roll, and then all of a sudden, the sort of camera pulls back from a little TV monitor, and as it pulls back, you can see that they're the same credits that were on, they're basically stuck in 1950s time. I'm gonna say they're all in black and white, stuff like that. But as the camera pulls back, it's in color, and you see someone sitting at a desk, with all this bunch of computer equipment around and stuff like that, basically monitoring what, or seem to be monitoring what's going on in that world. And there's a little Easter egg. I don't know if I call it an Easter egg, but there's a little plot point on the monitor to the left.
Oh, did you?
There is a symbol.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is some future Marvel MCU stuff. There is a symbol for sword.
Sword?
Sword, yes. So in the comics, there's like there's not just shield. Shield's been introduced in the MCU already. In the comics, there's a bunch of other ones. So there's like sword. I think there's like armor. There's there's a couple of different sort of divisions.
Ah, interesting.
And sword in the comics, sword deals with things that are sort of more extraterrestrial and sort of larger than life. Shield deals with things that are sort of more Earth-centric and stuff like that, I would guess. But yeah, sword deals with things that are sort of a lot bigger and stuff like that. And so this is the sort of kicking off point for sword in the MCU. And what a lot of people believe is sword is sort of watching Wanda and Vision and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because they're considered, I think, the most dangerous people in the MCU/Avengers at the moment.
So do you think they're doing this to them?
I don't, no idea. No idea. Because there's another thing as well. I have a couple of theories that I've written up here. Yeah, the radio.
Yeah.
So in episode 2, there's right at the end of the episode, Wanda is talking to Dottie, who is like...
Yes.
Dottie is like the head of, I guess, the community. Like, I don't know what I would call it. But she's like the head of the community sort of group.
Yeah.
And she was talking to Wanda, and she just all of a sudden sort of flips and says, "I know that you and Vision aren't normal," or something along those lines.
That's right.
And then all of a sudden, the radio that was sitting next to them and that was playing music, like you hear the frequency change.
Yep.
And then a man's voice says over to Wanda, "Wanda, who is doing this to you?" Or something like that. I don't know.
I have goosebumps. I feel like they're stuck in this simulation.
But that's
the
thing is, so there's a comic book story called House of M, which is technically an X-Men comic line, but and Wanda or Scarlet Witch was an X-Men originally. They had to sort of tweak a character in the MCU because they didn't have the rights to the X-Men, obviously. So they made her like a little bit different. They made her powers based off the Reality Stone and all that sort of stuff. Whereas technically in the comics she was a mutant. But the House of M storyline is basically Wanda sort of goes insane. She's sort of like, she starts having a mental breakdown, all that sort of stuff. And she starts warping the reality around her to sort of, I guess, comfort her and stuff like that. And try and like sort of make it all seem better in her eyes.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people believe that her sort of side
happening.
of the WandaVision TV show is happening. Is she's bending the reality around her to sort of, because I'd assume if you guys are watching it, you've already seen all the other MCU things, but Vision's dead.
Yes.
And so what I assume is Wanda is sort of twisting her reality to sort of make herself feel better from Vision dying. Because she lost, the person that she loves or cares about and stuff like that. And she also technically killed him the first time. Like, or the second time, sorry. So that's what a lot of people believe. And a lot of people also believe that this TV show is going to be the spawning point for the greater X-Men in the MCU, because now Marvel owns the rights to those.
Right. Okay.
So I physically cannot wait for more episodes.
Do you know when they come out?
Every Friday at about 6:30, I think.
Okay, Friday.
6:30, 7 o'clock my time, so probably like 7:30 your time.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
And also, the B-Man, who is that guy?
I couldn't get a clear look of his face.
I didn't either.
Yeah, could be anyone,
Why bees? Like, there is some significance to the bees, and I just don't know.
There has to be, yeah.
Also, the whole, before that, she found a helicopter toy that was all in color.
Yeah, the helicopter. Yeah.
That was interesting.
And then the world, at the end of that episode, the world starts changing into color again. So I don't know if episode 3 is going to be in color or black and white. I'm assuming color.
They're transitioning to the next time period.
I want more. I need more. I don't want more. I need more.
I absolutely love it. I think it's so well made. I love the actors in it, and I just need to answer the questions that are in my head right now.
Do you reckon we do this segment every week now? Because we're gonna do this for the next like 8 weeks or something like that. Do you reckon we do a little episode breakdown every week?
It'll mean that we're gonna have a longer episode. So unless we do a separate like film one solely for this. Anyways, we'll talk about this post. We'll talk about this post. Oh, we'll get some votes in there.
You know what? Let us know in the comments below. Actually, if you're watching this on the YouTube video, let us know in the comments below.
Or listening.
Would you like if we did a podcast, maybe 2 podcasts a week, one sort of based more off video games and that sort of side sort of thing, and then just general stuff that happens. And then we do another one that's sort of more film or TV related, where we do, basically breakdowns like this. Each episode will probably be a little bit shorter for that reason, which is fine.
For this moment, would it just be for Wanda?
I think so, yeah.
Right. Okay, so it'd be like a let's play in quotations, but for Wanda and slash anything.
A let's watch.
A let's watch.
A let's watch, Yeah, let us know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in, because I feel like that'd be quite easy for us to sort of do and stuff like that.
Or if we do what we're doing now, where we just tack it on to the end of
do it right at the end, which means every week's episode's going to be a little bit longer or something like that. But
we'll see what you guys think.
Yeah, but I guess that can wrap us up for this week then. I think that's all we wanted to talk about for WandaVision and all our other topics. Was there anything else you really wanted to add that you can think of, really?
I don't think so. Not
I don't think I have anything either, really. No.
You guys have any thoughts or, stuff you want to tell us? Our email is jennynjake@gmail.com. Please send us.
Jenz and Jake at email. Jenz and
Is it Jenz?
Jake. Yeah.
No, it's Jenny.
No, it's Jenz, trust me.
Oh, shoot. I've written it somewhere.
And that's fine.
Oh, well. Jenz and Jake.
At gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Yeah. We'll have it in the thing.
Here and here and here and here. Yeah.
Anyways.
But thank you guys for watching for this week. We'll see you guys next week and stuff like that. Hopefully you all have a good weekend, and goodbye.
Goodbye.